Brooklyn News Live begins right now. Here's Jackson Mitchell. Brooklyn News Live begins right now. Here's Jackson Mitchell.
And a good day to be with you. We have a lot of news to cover this hour, and we are going to cover all of it. We have that news out of Los Angeles, California, where a training facility uh in for the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, there was some type of explosion. So we are going to be waiting for officials to provide an update. A live look there you see on the left side of your screen where we are waiting for an update. Meanwhile, on the right, a live look from KABC, the local ABC station there in Los Angeles, providing an over the head view. Our thanks to them and courtesy to them for that shot that they are providing on the right side of your screen. So we are watching all of this as it comes in, plus the Aspen Security uh conference that's ongoing over uh in Aspen, Colorado. We are likely to listen into that here in just a few moments uh, as the evening goes on. I'm sorry, as the afternoon rather goes on. But the big story at this hour being a look there as officials are soon to provide an update on the LSD explosion. I will tell you some details here just so we can make sure you guys. Give me 1 second. Just so we can get a complete and full story here as to what has happened. So, a live look there again, but it says a deadly explosion. This is from ABC 7, which is the KABC station there in Los Angeles. They say the incident, which is a deadly explosion, said to have now killed three in the city Terrence area of East LA, left three deputies dead Friday. The incident, which is believed to be an accident at this time, was just reported just after 7:30 a.m. That is, of course, Pacific time, so 9:30 here in Brookland at the Biscola's training facility in the 100 block and the 1000 block rather of Northeastern Avenue in East Los Angeles. LASD said it is believed to be the compound that houses the sheriff's department's special enforcement units and bomb squad. It appears the um, Enforcement Bureau personnel were handling some kind of explosive when there was a blast. According to preliminary information from sources, three deputies were killed in the incident. The Los Angeles County by their fire department responded to the scene. It's unclear if there were any other injuries. I will say Mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, responding on exit looks like, yep, saying the city of LA is supporting the LASDHQ, which is just the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, through this horrific incident in Monterey Park. LAFD ATF arson investigators are, excuse me, and members of the LAPD bomb squad are assisting in the training facility. Again, three dead in this explosion over at this facility that was said to be the training facility for the bomb in special tactical units, essentially, for the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. So you're still taking a look there. We're going to monitor that throughout the day. I do want to take you live, though, out to the Aspen Security Conference, where they are talking at this hour on a number of different topics. I'm going to leave you here for just a moment, if you guys will pause with me here. If you'll stand with me for just a moment. I'm sorry, everyone. Just got to change some things. Okay, my apologies for that long pause there. Just I'm changing our graphics that are on your screen because we are going to listen in over at the Aspen Security Conference for just a moment. We'll listen in there, and as soon as we see officials even appearing to about to give an update, we're gonna go there first. You guys already know. So let's go live now over to this Aspen Security Conference that is ongoing. You see there that feed that has both of the screens, so we're watching it just like you guys are. So let's listen in here over at the Aspen Security Conference where this is all ongoing. We'll listen in for just a moment here.
It's a big part of the story because the Chinese actually took from the system and didn't contribute in the ways that we thought they would, but lots of reasons. The second point I would make is not only do we have to look at what happened and why it happened, but we have to recognize that we're probably not going back to exactly that system. And so what are the elements that we need to preserve going forward? And I would just mention three. The first is alliances. You heard, I think, very good arguments about why alliances are so important. Secondly, I do think you have to preserve some of the apparatus for the carrying out of American foreign policy, and you're going to ask me about that later. And then finally, I think we really do have to look and see how can we recreate in the American people a sense that the United States of America is better when it's engaged in the world, when in fact we aren't having things done to us, but we are shaping it. The way that I put it for Americans is great powers don't mind their own business. They try to shape the international system, so if we don't shape it, others will.
Thank you, Bob. You know, there's been a lot of talk here on this stage today about alliances, how important they are. I'm sort of interested in the question of what alliances should be directed at solving. What are the issues out there? I read Peter Bergen, when I was at the New American Foundation. Peter Bergen was one of my colleagues, who interviewed Osama bin Laden before, when the CIA couldn't find him. And if you read what bin Laden said, it's very interesting. He said he was trying to engineer an overreaction by the United States, a deep set of attacks and presence within the broader Middle East to create a reaction. I mean, it raises the interesting question about alliances and also their blind spots. Were we blind to the, did bin Laden sort of win as you sort of look at the mess in the Middle East, the mess around the world, the challenges to American power and its role in the world, the degradation of the sense that alliances matter. So I want to talk about alliances more specifically than we just need them for a rainy day. Have we been directing them in the right way, and do we have blind spots?
Well, I think there's a long history going back at least before the end of the Cold War, but even after the end of the Cold War, of in fact, alliances strengthening and becoming more powerful. I mean, you didn't have to go to Afghanistan too many times to run into the Danes and the Dutch and the Australians and the Brits and a host of other countries, all helping, all having their own sectors, all working, trying to work together to beat back the Taliban and give the Afghan people a future. So that was, I think, the first out-of-area major operation for NATO in a consequential way, where NATO actually was there as an entity. There was a NATO representative. And the coordination could have been better, particularly on non-military things, but I think the fact that the Allies showed up and endured significant sacrifices was really testimony to the strength of the NATO alliance. For the first time in 100 years, or almost 180 years, Sweden wants to be a part of NATO. I think the last coalition they were was against Peter the Great. And all of a sudden Finland wants to be a part of the NATO alliance. So I think there's a vitality to the alliance today that in some ways was missing in the early days after the end of the Cold War. And then when you add to it the commitments that everybody's made in terms of military spending, infrastructure spending, and that infrastructure spending, by the way, is not building shopping malls, it's strengthening bridges so M1 tanks can go across them and things like that. So I think the notion that the alliance is weakening and is facing a problem is not true.
I mean, but the question I get is, are there blind spots? So you can also argue that there was a military fatigue. You saw recruitment, maxed out in a lot of ways. You saw a lot of Americans serving in what they were framing as forever conflicts. You saw people begin asking the question, why are we spending so much money over there and not over here? So those are the questions that I think also come in. When you look at those military engagements, they were decades long. Was that smart?
Of course, it wasn't actually our longest war, just to be clear. Our longest war is still Korea, where we only have an armistice and where we still have tens of thousands of American forces deployed. So with all due respect, I hate the notion of longest war. We have to be historically accurate about that.
Well, I just said long wars, but...
Yeah.
Well, and the fact is that, our major military engagement in Iraq was essentially concluded by around the end of 2008, 2009. Thanks in no small part to the deal President Bush cut in December of 2008 that basically put forward a path for the U.S. withdrawing from Iraq. And of course, we made decisions were made later to pull down our forces in Afghanistan. I think there were a lot of us who felt that some residual number of those forces should have been left there for reasons we can go into later if we have time. But I think that the bottom line in terms of the American people is, first of all, the conflicts did go on. And there didn't seem to be any resolution. I think we frankly got out of trouble, if you will, in Iraq when the Iraqi political process began to work and we began to draw.
Alrighty, we were listening in there to the event there in Aspen, Colorado. It's a yearly and annual conference that occurs each year, but we've just gotten some news. You see that just 26 seconds ago, the LASD releasing kind of this statement here. I want to read it in its entirety. It says, quote, and I'll read it from this screen just so it's a little easier for me to do exactly that. Let me zoom it in here for you guys. This morning, shortly after 7:30, I know it's a little small on you guys' screen, and my apologies. Let me fix that because I know that might be a little frustrating. It says this morning after 7:30 a.m., a critical workplace incident that occurred in the 1000 block of Northeastern Avenue in East Los Angeles at the Biscala's training facility. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It says, tragically, there were 3 department member fatalities. My apologies there. Sheriff's homicide detectives are on scene. The FBI, LA, ATF are assisting LASD. This is still an active scene, and further details will be forthcoming. Whoever released this statement did, not to point out a mistake there, it did spell scene wrong. So we'll see where this goes because we know we are expected to see a press conference a little later. Let's go live to that feed that we have in Los Angeles where we are expecting a press conference. As soon as I can find it, there is a live look there. We are waiting for a press conference to come about. So we will be monitoring that event and let you know when it comes into play. But again, I'm researching, I'm looking things up as this all comes about, and we'll provide updates and break in at any moment to this ongoing conference that is ongoing. You are looking there though at Jake Sullivan, who served as Biden's U.S. national security advisor. You see there his tag popping up as I was speaking there. Just recognized him from the press briefing room so many times and other events like that. So lots of news ongoing at this hour. We're still watching that live feed at the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department training facility in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, we have that second feed where we are monitoring, where we are to be getting an update on that explosion at any moment. We will continue monitoring it. That press conference expected to come at 11:30 a.m. Pacific rather. It's 11:31 a.m. So any moment now, we could be seeing that press conference come about. We will continue monitoring that. Let's go back out live though to this press conference. I'm sorry, to the Aspen Security. Second, there we go. Okay, let's go back out live to Aspen, Colorado, where Jake Sullivan is now speaking at the Aspen Security Forum. In Colorado. Let's listen in.
And I'm going to pressure him, and that's going to get me to the end because he truly believed Ukraine was the obstacle to peace. Well, he tried that strategy, and it became abundantly clear to everybody, up to now and including him, that Putin is the obstacle to peace in Ukraine. And so I think now that he recognizes that, he's going down a track, which I think is right, to try to increase support for Ukraine and hopefully increase pressure on Russia. I can't say how long that will be sustained, but what I can say is strong bipartisan majorities of Americans believe it is right for us to be engaged in support of the Ukrainian people, and they see the larger logic for why. Now, one of the things we tried to do in the Biden administration was make the long-term investments in American strength and capacity through investments at home, through investments in diverse and resilient supply chains, through investments in our alliances that would ultimately deliver a more vibrant, more inclusive, more capable economy over time. I think the biggest challenge we faced is
Okay, I hate to keep interrupting, but I have to note something else we are also monitoring, and that is over at the White House. President Donald Trump at 1:30 p.m. 1:30 Central here. It's now 1:33 Central. He was going to sign some bills. If that happens during the press conference, we'll see if it does, what occurs here, because it's going to be a lot of news going on at one moment. But what we're going to do, we will monitor this event ongoing at the White House. We'll prioritize the conference, the press conference over this, just so we can get an update on what's going on. As soon as it's over, we can go live to the White House. I would say that it is completely likely that President Donald Trump will address this ongoing situation, but also that he will not even wait until after the press conference. Just we'll see how it goes. So lots to follow here, because again, officials confirming here now 3 are dead at this facility as we, again, at any moment are expecting a press conference to come about. And I hate to keep interrupting. I'm not meaning to. I know some people might be interested in what's going on there over at the Aspen Security Conference. But again, lots of events that we're monitoring this hour. And we've got to prioritize what is the most important, to say the least. And I'm not gonna lie, when I do live events, I don't like, usually I like to just cover one event, but we're trying something new here with Brookland News Live, and we're covering all of these events at one time. And I'm not gonna note, it does get a little bit complicated when you have a bunch of events ongoing and you have to prioritize. Do I prioritize this political event over at the White House? Or what's going on over this LSSD explosion? What we are going to do here now, though, is sneak in a quick break. You know, we're monitoring everything. We will have that conference as soon as it comes about. If that is during our commercial break here in the next few moments, you guys know that we will take you there and live, of course, and follow that first. We're going to sneak in a quick break, though. You have been watching Brookland News Live. The coverage continues here in just moments. And welcome back into Brooklyn News Live. I'm Jackson Mitchell. So good to be with you on this Friday afternoon, now 1:39 p.m. We are following lots of news this hour. Officials to provide an update on the LSD explosion. Three uh, uh, sheriffs, deputies are said to be dead in this all. Unclear any others that are injured. The big number, though, 3 dead after this explosion, said to be accidental at this current moment, according to multiple different news sources. A press conference we are awaiting to occur in just moments. You're taking a look at that on the left side of your screen there. We are also, I believe, getting a live feed into an event over at the White House where President Donald Trump is expected to sign multiple bills. We'll see here if we get any type of interference. That's live over there at the White House. Cabinet members now entering the room. So let me, do we have audio? Okay, it appears just to be some music there. We will listen into that and see what occurs there. If the press conference, we'll just have to play it out here. What comes at what time? So, awaiting this White House event, President Donald Trump set to sign bills. We'll see. One of those bills being the Genius Act. That is one of the bills set to be signed when the president takes the podium to sign these bills, all as we are awaiting a presser to come from officials in Los Angeles for that event over at for that. I'm sorry. That's Howard Lutnick right there. Shaking people's hands. Howard Lutnick is the Secretary of Commerce. So we will watch this all as it comes about. Again, this White House event set to take place really any moment now. We're already 11 minutes behind schedule. So on that side of things, and then even farther when we talk about what's going on over at sorry. Even when we talk about what's going on over at the White House. So behind schedule at the White House and behind schedule over on this press conference in Los Angeles on this LASD. My apologies. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department explosion there. We are awaiting for that as soon as it comes. We'll bring you live updates on everything that's happening across the way. I wonder if we can. Boom, boom. So there's a look at everything we're following really this hour. We've also got that event ongoing on the Aspen, Colorado event that we were listening into a few moments earlier. So Trump holding that signing event at the White House, plus the press conference set to come over at the LASD facility, and you're taking 2 looks at it really. And it appears that we may have a different source covering this now. 1 second. So now that's KCBS KCAL. So we are waiting for this press conference to get underway. We've lost our aerial view that we did in fact have. So why don't I do this? If you guys stand by with me, I'm sorry, you guys. We are really I can do this right here and then change this. We might be seeing the president soon. Let me turn the volume up on here. We'll just kind of wait here to see whatever happens first. If the president is seen first, is that press conference seen first? Vice President J.D. Vance there with Speaker Mike Johnson. The Genius Act set to be signed. The Genius Act, if I'm correct here, to my knowledge, is on cryptocurrency. Let me... Yes, it's a cryptocurrency bill called the Genius Act. It's a landmark piece of legislation passed by U.S. Congress that establishes a federal regulatory framework for stablecoins. It aims to create clear rules for the issuance and use of stablecoins. So stablecoins, the big one there. So we'll listen in to what exactly happens here at the White House and these events that we're all following. So let's go live over now to, let me change this, and we've lost that feed at the bottom of your screen, but we have not lost this feed that we were following. Yeah, we just lost that feed. Hold 1 second. Oh, it's back. Before I could even change our feeds, we are now seeing an ATF truck pull through this scene here, and some officials possibly walking to the podium here. Maybe some tears being shed, shaking hands. California officials looking like they may give an update first. The volume is up and loud, as you see. These, I'm not from California. Don't know Los Angeles. So these might be high-ranking officials that are walking in front of the cameras. I'm not sure. It just appears to be a somber and sad moment between these officials. It does. So we're just kind of waiting to get an update here. This at this event. So we're still looking live there. We'll see. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens here. What exactly occurs first. Fixing that even more. Sorry about that. So we are also waiting for this signing event at the White House too. Let me do this right here. We still don't have any audio coming from that or anything. It might be because we're connected to the microphone. They might be muted. Something of that nature. So we are waiting for this to all occur. This event, according to the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, all occurred shortly after 7:30 a.m. Here come officials. Let's go live now out to this scene here. Look, we're changing feeds. My apologies. This appears to be the sheriff walking towards the mic to provide this update. Volume is all the way up. As soon as he walks towards that microphone, we will be able to hear him in full. We have both these feeds coming from us. Let's look at both of them. Officials walking towards the sheriff. Hugs being shared between them. Possibly some lawmakers or just high-ranking officials there on your screen. You are watching it as any moment now. We are expecting officials to deliver a conference. I do want to go with two different feeds here, so we're working with both of them. Let's go to this one here. Let's go to this one. Oh, we had some audio for just a moment, then we lost it again. Possibly, it sounded like maybe some natural sound, then we went back off natural sound. Let's go over to this feed right here. Live look at that microphone where it appears authorities are going to speak. Let's listen in.
Well, good morning to everybody, and I want to thank you for being here, and your patience in waiting for us. We've been very busy, as you can imagine, over the last several hours. I'll be the only one speaking today, and I'll be answering your questions after I speak. But if you look around me, the team that I have, that I'm surrounded by, members of the board, my partner, Jim McDonald, from the LAPD, Tony Maroney from LA County Fire, CHP. I could go on, and I'll talk about some of that as we go on. So it is a somewhat of a beautiful day today weather-wise, but there's definitely a black cloud hanging over the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and our county family. This morning, shortly after 7:30 a.m., an explosion occurred at our Special Enforcement Bureau, arson explosives detail facility located in the 1000 block of Northeastern Avenue in East Los Angeles, which is right behind this hill. Tragically, there were 3 sworn members who were fatally killed that were assigned to our arson explosives detail. No other department members were injured or transported to any hospitals. This is, unfortunately, the largest loss of life for us as the LA County Sheriff's Department since 1857. Between all 3 sworn members, they had served our community proudly for 74 years, and that's amongst all 3 of them collectively. 19 years, 22 years, and 33 years. And at this point, we are not giving out their names. One of the reasons it took me a while to get out here, one of my priorities is the families of our deputies. And I've met with several of them this morning. There are still others who are on their way. There are others who have not been notified. The last thing I want to do is them to turn on the news and find out that way. So thank you for respecting that at this point. My second priority were our employees. Our employees are hurting right now. Members of our Special Enforcement Bureau, other members of our arson detail as well, arson explosives detail. In regards to the details of what happened, I'm going to give you what I have right now. There's a lot more that we don't know than what we do know. But our intent is to look at this from the very beginning and figure out what is it exactly that caused this tragic event. Currently, our homicide detectives are on scene, and they are investigating the deaths and we are being assisted by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, who are investigating the post-blast portion of this incident. You have seen other vehicles other than FBI. You've seen the ATF here. They will be assisting the FBI as well. I am very grateful to the bomb squad of the Los Angeles Police Department. And I mentioned Chief Jim McDonald standing behind me here. They immediately came out to assist after this explosion occurred to render the devices safe. And just so all of you know, they were just rendered safe within the last minutes, right before we walked out here. So it was still an active scene. It wasn't stable, and definitely a very active crime scene as we go forward. At this time, we do not know the cause of the explosion. However, this specific area has been closed off due to the ongoing investigation. We believe there is no threat to this community. Actually, I could tell you there is no threat to this community. This is an isolated incident. And again, no threats. We have road closures, Eastern Boulevard between Blatchard Street and Lotta Drive. And again, I do want to thank all of our local partners, our local elected officials that are here to help us get through this very difficult time. We have our Psychological Services Bureau personnel on scene that are assisting our employees at this moment, along with peer counseling and chaplain services. And as I said earlier, I have met with 2 of the 3 families thus far. And as you can imagine, those were extremely challenging conversations. So anyways, ready for questions. Those are all good questions. that Pete just asked. Now that the investigation.
Okay, so you have been listening to officials providing an update on that Los Angeles Sheriff's Department explosion. 3 are dead. The sheriff there in LA County. Let me get his exact name. Apologies for that pause there. Getting the name of the sheriff there. It is loading up on my screen at this moment. Maybe does not appear it is going to. That is the LA County Sheriff, though. What I am going to go forward and say, though, is we have a split screen moment, though. Trump signing bills at the White House. We're going to go live to that. We just wanted to listen in because if I heard the sheriff there correct, a 19, one of those, all 3 of those killed. One was 19 years of service, 22 years of service, and 33 years of service. That is if I heard the sheriff correct. And my apologies if I'm wrong there. Again, officials providing that update, the LA County Sheriff, you see, you saw him there becoming emotional towards the end, saying that he's only contacted 2 of the 3 families, saying that they are not going to release the names just yet, simply because they haven't contacted all the families and would not want someone learning of the loss of a loved one via a news conference. We are going to go now, though, to an ongoing event over at the White House. President Donald Trump set to sign bills here in just a moment. If you'll stand by with me really quickly. Let's go live over to the White House as Trump set to sign bills there. He's speaking. One of the bills he set to sign is the Genius Act. So we will be watching for that. Unclear if he's made remarks just yet. I was not listening. Was listening to that press conference. Unclear if he made remarks on this event. If he takes questions, that is very likely something that he will be asked. Let's listen in now over at the White House as Trump is set to sign bills.
You've been aging beautifully at front. He's an amazing speaker, a great leader, and everybody likes him and respects him, and that's why we're with a very small majority, like 3. We had a time when we were 1. Remember? We said we're 1 heart attack away from losing the House. Then we won a couple of seats and a couple of other. Now we have 7, maybe if we're lucky, 7. But we win with, nobody's ever done, I don't think anyone's ever done this before, to win with those small. We had a little help from Tom, too, right, and a lot of other people. I want to introduce also Secretary Howard Lutnick, who's been fantastic. You have done a great job, Howard. We've got trade deals coming out of our ears, right? We had so many trade deals. They're all calling so many, and I really mean this, too. It's like, how do you deal with so many? But, I always say when we send out the paper, that was a deal. They don't want the fake news doesn't want to hear that. When I send out the paper that you're paying 35 or 40% tariff, that's a deal. Then they'll call and see if they can make a little bit different kind of a deal, like opening up their country to trade. In some cases, they've never been opened. But we're doing well, and we have a couple of big ones to announce pretty soon, right? Could almost do it today. Maybe we'll say it. Maybe later on we'll do it. Senator Bernie Moreno, a great victory. Bernie had great victory. A great victory. That was one of the truly tough races. A lot of people weren't sure anybody could win that seat, and you won it in easy fashion, right? We won it together when you think of it. But you won it in easy fashion. You did a great job. A great guy. House Majority Whip. This is a great leader, Tom Emmer, a great politician and leader. Really good. And I like his wife even better. His wife is, she's the boss, but you are married to a fantastic woman, huh? And he knows that, and he likes hearing it, because some people don't, they say, sir, could you please stop saying that my wife is better than me, sir? Those are guys that don't usually end up with a good marriage, He's got a great marriage. So thank you, Tom. You really are a fantastic leader and representative. And Representatives Troy Downing, French Hill. Where's French Hill? Where is French? You have been so great. Thank you, French. I spoke to him a little late. He was walking down the hall. I said, French. He said, I'm there, sir. You are great, great, great guy. Everyone respects you, French. You know that. Bill Heisinger. Bill, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good job. Dan Muser. I thought he was going to become the next governor of Pennsylvania, but he likes Congress better, I guess, huh? So, but I think you're terrific, and, you know, I would have always been behind you. That I can tell you. Tim Moore. Tim, thank you, Tim. John Rose. John? Hi, John, thanks. Good job. Brian Stile. Brian Stile. Still young? Still nice and young. That's good. G.T. Thompson. G.T. Thank you. Andy Barr, good friend of all of ours. Thank you, Andy. Monica De La Cruz. Monica, she's here someplace. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Monica. Mike Haridopoulos. Mike. Thank you, Mike. Look good. Mike Lawler, Mr. Salt. Well, it should guarantee your district. I mean, you worked hard for New York, right? And you're on television, I'm on television, so this should be good for a couple of points. But without you and your couple of friends from New York, that wouldn't have happened. That was not easy, right? Congratulations. Great job. Anna Paulina Luna. Anna, who is so great. I don't, even if she's here or not here, I want to tell you that she has been so great and worked so hard to make sure we got it approved. Ralph Norman. Ralph? Ralph? What happened to Ralph? Nick Begich. Nick? Thank you, Nick. Good job. Good job. Good votes. I just saw a great poll on you, huh? Very good. Congratulations, Nick. Andy Ogles. Andy, who's a terrific friend. Beth Van Dyne. Beth? Thank you, Beth. Great job. Thank you. Thank you very much for the great support. Roger Williams, a great baseball player, who also had to take a bullet, unfortunately, but he is a great guy. He was involved in that whole catastrophe, but he's fantastic and has been from day one, along with a lot of other people that I won't call out because I have no idea where the hell you are. I think I saw Jason here somewhere. Where's Jason? Oh, it's lucky I called him. Ooh, it's lucky. They didn't put your name because I invited you at the last moment, right? He was over there doing some business in the White House. But you've been incredible in your position. Nobody knows more about taxes and finance than you do, so we appreciate it, right? Is that true, Howard? It's true. Thanks, Jason. Great job. And you'll help out with that other matter. You make him so strong and powerful, right? Along with Deputy Secretary of Treasury, Michael Faulkender. Where's Michael? Good, Michael. How are you? Good. You'll help out over there, okay? And Ambassador Ken Howry. Ambassador? Thank you, Ken. Great job, Ken. I also want to recognize some of the countless industry leaders here today, including Brian Armstrong of Coinbase. You've done a good job, Brian. That's a big deal. Dave Ripley of Kraken. Dave. Thank you, Dave. Jeremy Allaire of Circle. This is a big day. Good job. Good job, Jeremy. Paolo Ardino of Tether. Paolo, thank you, Paolo. Ryan McInerney of Visa. That's a good company. Thank you. Chris Pavlovsky of Rumble. Chris, what happened to your location, Chris? You're always a front row guy. You're just being nice today, I think. How's Rumble doing? Good? Good. If Rumble's doing good, that means Truth is doing good. Truth. That's great. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Chris, very much. Vlad Tenev of Robinhood. Vlad, thank you, Vlad. Thank you, Vlad. Good. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss. These are two smart, handsome guys. They got the whole package. They're of Gemini, but they have the whole pack. They're of a lot of things, actually, but Gemini's just the one for today, right? They've got the whole, they've got the look, they've got the genius, got plenty of cash, and it's great that you're on our side. You guys are great. I can never tell them apart. but their mother can. I asked, can your mother tell you apart? And the answer is yes. Right? Easily, or is it tough for her? Easy, I figure. Good. You guys have been great. Thank you very much. Great to be with you. Let me say, the entire crypto community, for years, you were mocked and dismissed and counted out. You were counted out as little as a year and a half ago. But this signing is a massive validation. And even before this signing, over the last year and a half, I think your stuff has gone up more than any stock, or just about more. A couple of stocks that were pretty good, I will say. But you have certainly, as an industry, gone up more than anybody. Nobody's gained the respect in such a short period of time. But this signing is a massive validation of your hard work and your pioneering spirit and your ability to never give up, because a lot of people would have given up 2-3 years ago. So I want to thank you for contributing to the incredible strength of America. This is going to make it stronger, and congratulations on this incredible achievement. You've made our dollar look really good and strong and powerful. It's good for the dollar, and it's good for the country. And that's why I backed you at an early stage, and I also did it for the votes, because you did come out and vote, I will tell you. And they changed tune, you know, Biden's team, they changed tune right in the middle of the campaign. All of a sudden, they loved you guys. They dropped all charges. They did have, I got you guys out of so much trouble. And you know what? I don't think anybody voted for them, right? Because you remember they treated you very unfairly, actually. So it's a great honor that we were involved. And it was a tremendous amount of support that we got at the polls. We won. Think of it, we won every swing state. We won by millions of votes. We won the popular vote. We won the districts by 2,750. Think of that, to 505. Different districts, too, by the way. Every once in a while, that number can change, but it doesn't change by much. The map was almost totally red, and you guys were with us right from the beginning, exactly 1 year ago.
Alrighty, so you have been listening in there to President Donald Trump. He's expected to sign a cryptocurrency bill called the Genius Act. That's to come there at any moment. We are going to continue monitoring that, but that will conclude this edition of Brooklyn News Live. A live look at the White House there, where Donald Trump is inside right now and will sign that bill at any moment. That will do it for us on this Thursday afternoon, though, 2:06 p.m. Lots of big stories today. We have this LASD, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department explosion. The sheriff in Los Angeles County confirming 3 of sheriff's deputies are dead. Only 2 of the families have been contacted, meaning the names will not be released at this current moment in time. We are going to continue monitoring all events across the nation this afternoon. If anything major happens, you know where to go. We'll be right here. For more news, weather, politics, and more, go to brooklynnews.com. To follow me on my social media pages, it's at Jackson Mitchell BN on X, at Jackson Mitchell BN on Instagram, at Jackson MITCHEBN on Instagram. The coverage never stops, and neither do we. That will do it for me on this Saturday, though. Have a great rest of your evening.